the name, but don't change the product, that does not make you revolutionary. It makes you a liar. And to be honest, we changed our labels a while back. Some of us. Some of us, we still correlate with things like mankind, humans, and paradoxical, upside down concepts, constructs, things that don't even truly exist in the conversation of universal truth and principles. We throw around words like king, queen, God, goddess. But name, like C. Freeman L. taught me, shout out to Unc, is an indication of nature. If you change the name, it should change the nature. But most have changed the name, but operate inside of the same upside down patterns, circles, and cycles that were taught to us by this society, perpetuated as normal, made out to be the dream. It's the American dream to go into debt and to go to work at jobs that you don't like, to be away from the dream that you obtained. It's stupid. You're in competition with people that you say that you love. So you go and do things that you hate doing out of the desperation to not be left out of a club that you say you don't want to be a part of. You throw shots and shades at every belief system that is projected and broadcasted aloud, but you give your attention to each and every one because underneath the surface of this judgmental, hard-hearted, fixated mind that you project to other people and want us all to buy into, there's the question marks that you have, not only about yourself, but about everything. So you have to give an ear to everything that you hear because you have the fear of missing out on the solution that you haven't even told other people that you're looking for. You actually walk around as if what you believe, what you stand on, and what you have now is the solution to their issues, and that's why they should lock in with you. Changing the label is not enough. If the product was recalled because it was making people sick, because there was something that was contaminating the contents, and you just changed the label and put it back on the shelf, you're still going to kill people. You're still going to poison people. And at this point, you knew that the product was contaminated. You knew that the product was compromised, and you slapped the label on it, which now not only makes you poisonous, it makes you deceptive. It makes you manipulative. It makes you a trickster. It makes you a capitalist. It makes you out to be everything that you complained about everybody else being that took advantage of your existence, your ancestors' existence, and whoever else you be complaining on the behalf of. These can't just be words. You did not just buy into the fact, I am black. That wasn't just a word. That wasn't just a sentence. That was a whole ideology. That was a whole, there are canons of books written on what it means to be what I just said. And not only did we say it, we studied what it meant to be. We watched the movies that were the prerequisite of you going out and being a forerunner in the conversation of I am black. You know you done seen Friday. You know it's plenty of movies that if you cannot recite or you cannot answer the pop quiz at the drop of a hat in the middle of a real life circumstance, when somebody puts you in a situation, well, why you gotta say nasty, Ray? If you don't know how to respond to that, your I am black is compromised. It's just that simple. We're just that petty. We're just that caught up on things that don't matter. You ain't I am, anything you put after I am is your name. Anything that you partner your belief with as your name becomes the attraction of your nature. In truth and in reality, you and I are gods. Our nature should align with our name. In reality, you and I are kings and queens. Our nature should align with royalty. You don't say that you're a king, say that you're a queen, and then continue to live as a peasant. You lived as a peasant when you ain't know no better. Now that you have an understanding of the position that you were given, that you were gifted, you inherited this. You ain't worked for this. Everything you worked for turned out to be nothing. Why continue to work for nothing? You were convinced that you were nothing, and you needed to work to get something so that you would no longer be nothing. But everything that you were working for turned out to be vain, empty, void of meaning and substance. Nothing. Everything that you thought you were turned out to be imaginary, illusionary, nothing, a void. Why continue to partner in your identity of nothing, chasing nothing, when you can settle for truth? And by settle, I don't mean compromise, because that's what we've been doing our entire lives. We've been compromising for the convenience of an experience that we've imagined going one way, but is often going completely opposite of what we imagine. And out of a silent desperation, we weave narratives rather than align ourselves with the factual basis of the experience and the factual basis of the universe that allows for us to change the circumstances that we be lying to ourselves and lying to other people about. You wouldn't have to tell so many lies to other people if you didn't lie to yourself so often. Because when you open your mouth and say certain things like, I am a king, I am a queen, now there is an expectation, now there is a label that you have put on yourself, and you assumed that this label is a good label. You assumed that this was a good thing to be. This was something that we should be celebrating. But what is it when you say you are something, but you operate opposite of what you've said you are? Now, by default, regardless of what you said you are or what you think you are, you're a liar. You're a deceiver. Heartbreaker, and I won't let you back in my life, so I'm taking. That was one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. Profile, liar, check it out. But a king, there is, that's not just a claim, that's not just a statement, that's not just a sentence. Just like the illusionary things that we partner with and the illusionary things that we said we were, it has a meaning, it has ideology, it has paradigms that are connected to it, it has superstitions that you have held on to for extensive periods of time that are not very easy to drop. The Bible refers to them as strongholds. Kings are disciplined. Kings have strong character. Kings don't need to be babysat. Kings don't need to be micromanaged. Kings don't need for somebody to tell them what they should be doing today or what they should have done yesterday. Kings have the ability to unbiasedly assess their production and make adjustments and align themselves with the reality of the facts of their thinking and their actions that will come to the sum of their life experience. Lying to yourself to project yourself as more than you are to them minimizes who you are to yourself, which is what determines whether you move forward or you continue to regress and fall back into illusionary patterns. Kings can be trusted alone. See, that's why, women are constantly saying that they want a man. They want a man. You don't want a man. A man is an undisciplined human specimen that is incapable of leading even himself. You want a king. A king is disciplined. A king is emotionally mature. A king is capable of leading. A king has a crown. A king has a kingdom. A king has resources. A king can defend and protect and negotiate and politic and build and construct and destroy. And a lot of times we say we want things because that is what women want. But the responsibility that comes with having a man or having a boy, a biological organism of youth, somebody that hasn't even become master, able, noble, or even began the journey of understanding that they are gods, generator, operator, destroyer, it's a lot less responsibility connected to having one of these emotional, unstable, inconsistent people that are a reflection of your own presentation. See, when you up your presentation, when you up your ante, when you up your belief of yourself, when you partner with the higher call and purpose within you, when you can see the vision of yourself that God extended to you and deposited within you that remains dormant because you be listening to all of these superstitions and narratives and all of these lies that are strategically provided for you in the society that we live in. And we give all of our attention to the physical because, hey, remember, we love to change the label. We love to change the presentation because it's the presentation that has become what we are fixated on. Forget the fact that the product is recalled because of the poison on the inside. I'm worried about the presentation. I need the packaging to be right. Baby, get my bag right. Your bag ain't gonna do you no good if the contents on the inside make people vomit. See, I'm gonna leave you alone. But kings have discipline. Kings have self-discipline. Kings don't need to be disciplined. Kings don't need to be told. One of the most aggravating things for a king is to be told what to do or what they should have done because a king has already had those conversations with themselves. I hold myself accountable. I dissect and diagnose myself, not by my inner assumptions, not by my inner projections. No, I sit down with my king because every king is a follower of the king. See, you're not gonna be the god or goddess that you were created to be if you get it in your head that you don't need a direct line of communication and reliance on the one who made you the god or goddess that you are. See, a king's words becomes a king's decree. Not to be discarded by the people, not to be overlooked, not to be ignored by the people, not to be rejected, not to be challenged by the people, but also not to be overlooked by himself. See, a good king lives under his own decrees. That's what make you a king. Listen, a kid playing Simon Says can tell people what to do. Telling people what to do, telling people where to go, does not make you a king. But in this weird illusionary space that we have developed in our ignorance, where you can lay down, have consensual, intimate actions with the opposite sex, or even by strange scientific approaches now, go about having a child with the same sex. Because that's the weird social space that we have developed to accommodate our ignorance, where we think everything that we think or desire should be made available and acceptable to everybody. And that's what it is for there to be equal rights, or for there to be equality in the world. And we need no more equality than the fact that we were all given the same measure of I am on the inside of ourselves, and the universe responds to our vibrations the same, regardless of the color of your skin, the level of comprehension or speaking abilities that you have. That's what people get caught up in, the fact that I can tangle words, or I can speak eloquently, or I can that don't mean nothing. You better learn how to listen to what people are saying. Listen to what they're doing. If I'm telling you to break your life and go against all of the paradoxical paradigms that you were given, but then you see me on Sunday mornings going live in church buildings so I can get paid for preaching, to use my eloquent speech or use my ability to research and report, then don't listen to nothing I'm saying. Don't listen to nothing I'm saying. But what I'm telling you is, in the pursuit of the truth of identity, I broke my life so to the point that the people that I was churching with was the same people that I grew up in the house with as a child. They weren't just my religious partners, they were my relatives too. And there was such a change in my nature, when there was a change in my name, that every one of them struggled with me and either had to repair their ability to see me as one of their own and engage with me in love, or never did. And that exposed to me that what we had came out of, that we thought was teaching us unconditional love and teaching us grace, mercy, and wide ranges of acceptance, was actually teaching us nothing but judgment, condemnation by behavior. And I ain't want no parts of it. And when I ain't want no parts of that, when I rejected the system that everybody was a part of, because they were so deeply entrenched in it, they saw it as a rejection of them. And that just goes into like the next part of what it is to be a king. A king not only keeps their word, but a king has vision. A king isn't just out here playing. A king is not just out here dilly-dallying. A king just ain't pussyfooting around. A king is not walking and kicking leaves or walking and jumping in mud puddles. A king is not getting caught up in every little passing wind experience. Now, this is where understanding comes in. This is where you have to understand that if you have never been a king, you don't know what it looks like to be a king. So you can't take your perspective from whatever angle you sit, whether that be peasant or be royalty of your own, and decide that you can look and analyze and assess whether somebody is walking in kingship or whether they are walking in something else. That you can determine what it is, and you can put a name on it. Because you can only name what you know, and you only know what you've been. So if you're going to call them something derogatory, then you need to finish the sentence, and you need to let it be known that you know them to be derogatory because of your derogatory past and your past derogatory experience with what they got going on. And you need to be just as loud about your derogatory past as you're being about your assumptions of their derogatory present. And if that's not something that you can do, then you need to shut your mouth. Because that's how kings move. A king is not speaking on anything or any kingdom that he is not willing to meet in the middle of the field. Because why are we talking? Now when I'm at the gate with the militia, now you surprised? You shocked? Did you forget what you sent the errand boy to say? Hey, you listen. Kings have vision. Kings do not just have random toxic appetites that they pacify and allow to lead them to destruction. See, people who sit on the throne with weird appetites that they don't manage appropriately by destroying and rising above after they have taken the time to be a student and see it for what it is for the first time, because that's where the change starts. I used to lie to myself about what I had going on. I used to lie to myself about what the motive was for why I was doing it. But now has set me free by providing for me the truth of myself that I did not find in you. It was within me the whole time. But I had a lie that I had partnered with, and I had a belief that took precedence over the truth that was within me. The lies and the chaos, the legion of voices overrode the whisper of the true one. It happens. But when distraction comes, understand, so does weakness and so does fear. Understand, as a king, as a queen, you've been trying to eliminate weakness and fear from your experience, but just eliminate distraction. If you'd eliminate distraction, be a student of truth, and align yourself with facts. Make adjustments where you see yourself off course. Then you would have a confidence in the universal design. But because you know that you have not sat down and educated yourself in anything other than the lies that have been perpetuated by this society, the stories that were given to you in history class, the math equations that you have forgotten how to do, but you learned how to do because you didn't want your classmates to outperform you and make you look stupid. The books that you took nothing from in comprehension, but read when the popcorn reading thing came your way. One, to eat popcorn, and two, because you wanted to prove to everybody else that you can read words faster than them and follow it, not with your finger. Because we was always performance driven, because in our houses, our mama house, our grandma house, where we were being told that love was what operated them, there was a hierarchy. There were double, triple, quadruple standards. There was behavior-driven incentives. There were many statements said towards those who were not aligning with what was being asked that let them know that they were being seen as less than those who were aligning with what was being asked. And we learned to be performance-driven. We learned that people don't really accept and receive us for who we are. They accept and receive us for what we provide for them. And instead of us operating in a confidence and the love within ourselves and being perfectly fine with the performance-driven people being elsewhere, following other people, we decided to play the game too, because we didn't want to be left out. But that ain't king motion. Kings direct navigation according to their inner guide, not popular opinion or fear. How can a king take a kingdom of people to a new land, uncultivated, and build a sustaining dynasty if he's always doing what everybody else is doing, or he's never doing what he sees on the inside, because there's a legion of voices driven by TV, vain imaginations, books that we never read, superstitions that we overheard, cliches that we never understood, and a Bible that we've never studied for what it is. A king can't win being driven by fear. A king can't win being driven by superstitions. A king can't win being driven by popular opinion. Kings follow God as they lead their kingdom. Kings have a kingdom. Pause. Kings have a kingdom. You're not a king just because you say you're a king. Just like queens have the ability to enhance and increase kingdoms. Not come in and destroy kingdoms and leave them rubbish and rubble and waddle away and find another king and kingdom to destroy. That has a name too. Kings have kingdoms. Prioritize your success rather than prioritizing your dysfunctional appetite of familiarity and appearance of companionship. Anybody that's with you in the physical while you have nothing can only be with you for a certain extent of time and can only give to you a certain extent of themselves before they become sick from giving more than they ever wanted to. Understand human nature and stop wrestling with it. Understand how to identify those who have moved beyond human nature into godhood and have the ability to love you because they have loved themselves. So anything, any flaw, any discrepancy, any dysfunction that they can identify in you, they will already have experienced from the inside of themselves. So it won't be no knee shock reaction. It won't be no, I can't believe you did this. I can't understand how anybody would ever do something so stupid. No, you definitely understand how somebody could do something so stupid because you have done something so stupid. And you've taken the time to forgive yourself and extend grace to yourself for doing something so stupid. And since you have done so, it's a lot easier for you to do so for other people. But it's impossible for you if all you know is judgment. If you judge yourself and you beat yourself up and you tell yourself you suck and you tell yourself you trash every time you make a mistake, don't nobody need to be fooled up with you, because what you have for yourself is what you will give to them, and ain't no stopping that until you stop it for yourself. And then when you stop giving it to yourself, you'll stop pushing it off on them. You'll stop determining within yourself that they deserve the same dysfunction that you provide for yourself when they mess up. And you can be a better king, or a king in actuality for the first time, whichever. You can be loved without having. You know, we live in a society, we have rap music, we have movies, we have the popular opinion that says that women do not love unconditional, but men can. There are so many superstitions and so many paradigms that are absolutely paradoxical. To believe that a man is capable of doing anything that a woman is not capable of is absolutely foolish when the man's vessel comes out of the woman's vessel. To be a physical indication of the absolute truth that though one may seem stronger, there is no such thing. What connects us is our absolute strength in the spirit and our absolute weakness and vulnerability in the physical. We share both 100% equally. So the conversation about who's better, who's higher, who's this, who is dumb. There's certain roles that the queen plays, and there are certain roles that the king plays, and to sit down and make everything a comparison is an absolute killjoy. And there's no factual basis for the conversation that you're having, so we're just littering our opinion. You absolutely can be loved without having as a king. You absolutely can. But why would you want anybody to partner with you while you don't have anything? What are they partnering with you on? The pursuit of getting something? That's pretty selfish. Because what are they getting in partnering with you other than a dream, a wish, a hope? And when people sell you dreams, you say they shot at. Let somebody come up and try to sell you a dream. You ain't buying it. But then you're upset with other people when they don't buy your dream? No, as a king, if you're going to walk in and you're going to announce yourself as a king, then don't just look the role. Don't just have on the outfit of a king. Where's your kingdom? Where is the provision, king? Where is the security, king? Where is the gate, king? Where are the resources, king? I don't say any of this derogatorily. I don't say any of this condescendingly. What I'm saying is, stop looking for a woman to bring back to nothing. You want a queen to do what with? You don't have a kingdom. You're not walking around with your polished crown looking of royalty. So everything you partner with is absolutely less than royalty. And you bring them back to your kingdom under construction in your little town of rubble. It get burnt down and left ground zero once again, because you brung another you around. You brung somebody that was a reflection of you, and all you know right now at this point is destroy, conquer, destroy, conquer, destroy, pursue, conquer, destroy, pursue, conquer, destroy, pursue, conquer, destroy, pursue. That's all you've been doing. You've been on run, repeat for decades. When the future king, when the heir of the throne is a baby, they're treated the same as a slave. Subordinate, come here, get over here. Don't go there. Don't you ever go over there. Give me that. Who gave you that? Hey, everything is theirs. They're the king to be. But right now, they don't know nothing. And while they don't know nothing, they have to be protected from their ignorance. See, you want a king, but when a king comes and tries to protect you from your ignorance, they end up getting assaulted by your defense of your ignorance, because you thought them trying to protect you from your ignorance was an attack on your identity, because you have identified yourself with your ignorance. It's not a mystery. We just don't be taking time to talk through it, to look at it, to actually see it, to digest it, to process it. We skim over it. We act like we know it already. And that's what makes it impossible for us to ever see it. And we'll never grow if we keep avoiding these type of moments and these type of conversations. If we never apply and execute the corrections on the backside of these conversations. When the future king, when the heir of the throne that was treated the same as a slave, as a baby, grows in knowledge of their identity, they are given the throne. And everything that was kept away from them and everything that they were kept away from is now theirs to engage with. But do you understand the discipline of a king? The discipline of a king is so strong that the court jesters will come in to entertain the king's court while they're eating. You think that's an accident? We work so much. There's so much to be done in the leadership of the people, in the partnering of the vision, in the sitting down, in the meditation, and the seeing, in the metanoia, the turning away from what I thought and what I assumed and what I projected and what I perceived to now what I know because of what I heard on the inside from the inner guide. And then going out and having the ability, the poise, the posture to sit on the throne and lead people who oftentimes don't want to be led, and lead them with grace, lead them with patience, lead them with kindness, lead them with love. Because a lot of people will abuse you. A lot of people will use brute force and beat you over the head and say they're doing it for your benefit. But again, as a universal teacher, remember, it is your job to give the lesson. It is not your job to receive the lesson, apply the lesson, and execute the bullet points. Tom Brady did not become the best quarterback in the history of the game, arguably, by sitting in the pocket, throwing the ball, and then running out, going and catching it himself. No, he had to develop skills in the pocket. He had to develop precision. He had to get accurate with what he was doing on his end. He had to do his part and trust that the people on the other end would do theirs. And as a teacher, that's the same for us. You cannot receive and apply the lesson for the students. Trying to do so will make you a hard-hearted, calloused, sick teacher. And a hard-hearted, callous, sick teacher does not teach people how to heal and be whole. They teach people how to be broken and how to be hard-hearted and calloused. You can only teach people what you are. You can only teach people what you know, and you only know what you are. Listen, taking your history was not an accident. If you don't know who you are and you can't look back at who those who came before you as an example have been, then how do you know how to even make the correction? The best that some of us know is to go down to the bookstore and go to the self-help section, to go see a psychiatrist, to go and sit with a shrink that is trained by the same group who launched the attack on you and your mental and your identity in the first place. They're not going to walk you out of the darkness. They're going to walk you deeper into it. That's why I say your freedom, it's going to come from the inside. It's going to come from you locking in. Locking in. Locking in ain't never been about locking in with me. I know you locked in with me when you lock in with yourself. That's when I see that you and me are on one accord. We on the same page. We in the same boat. We flying on the same plane. We are on the same mothership. If you ain't locked in with you, I don't care how much you like me, how much you'll come and sit with me, because you're going to become toxic to my experience, man. I don't need you to grow no dependency on me. I don't need you thinking that I'm the answer, because one day I'm going to look at you honestly and I'm going to say, I don't even know what you're talking about. And when I say that, you're going to identify me as a failure. You're going to identify me as everybody else that let you down. And so before I let you put me up there on that pedestal to knock me down later, I'll just never take the seat. I already have a throne. I'm already elevated. I'm already sitting in a high place. You can't put me no higher than I already am. And since I know that, I ain't letting you move me. But understand, that's real moving to the insecure. That's real moving to people who have to move people to have a sense of purpose and a sense of approval and acceptance for themselves. That's why I be telling y'all, don't be like that. But also please do not forfeit or submit your identity and your inheritance and your throne and your high seat because you didn't want to make somebody else feel bad, because that's not why you do it. The honest reason for why you do it is because you didn't want to feel bad for that person not accepting and receiving you, because you didn't know that your throne was a better seat in the first place. But like I said, we suffer because of our narratives. We suffer because we've changed the label. We suffer because we've changed what we call ourselves. We suffer because we've changed what we call other people. But we haven't changed our day-to-day actions. We haven't changed our mentalities, our mindsets, our paradigms. And our paradigms determine our actions. And our paradigms determine what we believe and what we project and what we push on to other people. It's not enough to change your name. It's not enough to change your packaging. You've been changing your clothes your whole life. You've been changing your hairstyle your whole life. You've been changing how much money you have your whole life. And you have not found the acceptance and approval that you were looking for yet, because you have yet to accept and approve yourself unconditionally. From there, I promise you will not care what these people saying. Get there. Lock in.